Folks, welcome to the Max. We are here live at the Flying Whippet Production Studios. I'm with Max Arredondo tonight. He is my sports Bengali. He is the guru of the gridiron. He is a sports encyclopedia. To my left, out of your view, is Brother Bob, my producer. And then our cameraman and hair and makeup is Jason. I'm working on my my baseball mullet. What do you think, Max? Is it coming in?
Couple more months. It's going to look great.
Couple more months, man.
Absolutely.
My baseball mullet. Guys, we got some exciting things to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about the Hall of Fame game, which is going on as we speak. Real quickly, I'm going to predict. I have no idea what the score is. We've been doing some research here, so I haven't seen the game or been listening. 17-9 Pittsburgh Steelers.
I have Dallas 10 and Pittsburgh 17.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes, Brother Bob.
Who cares?
It's true.
It's the first game of preseason.
The gamblers.
That's a good, yeah.
They care.
They do.
It's the first game of the season, so we're doing some gambling tonight.
Yeah, the gamblers are happy. Vegas is happy. I mean, obviously this is kind of a back of the barn, find some players, see what they can do. You know, the Hall of Fame game, though, wasn't played last year. So I'm sure it's exciting for people that have been jonesing for some football like we have. Interesting factoid. Of all the Hall of Fame games that have been played, who has the most wins in the Hall of Fame game?
You talking about teams?
Team. A team.
A team. AFC or NFC?
I'm not going to tell you. Let's just say they play in the Cowboys division.
Really? The Giants?
The Redskins.
Well, there's no team called the Redskins.
I'm sorry, the Washington football team.
Washington
My apologies.
football team. Okay.
My apologies.
Yeah. Well, good. I didn't know that.
Yeah, 5.
Now you get a Super Bowl attached to that Hall of Fame game win?
No.
Okay.
But while we were on that subject, the two teams playing tonight are going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Dallas Cowboys. Let's talk about Pittsburgh a little bit. Tomlin is in his 18th year. The Pittsburgh Steelers are actually in their 89th year of existence. Unbelievable. 89 years. What do you see with that team?
Well, one of the things that Pittsburgh has to do this year is improve quite a bit on offense with their quarterback play. As long as Ben can stay healthy, I think he's the key. He stays healthy, that's a playoff team, automatic. Running game is going to improve. The offensive line being healthy is going to improve. But the key is Ben. Can he stay healthy?
I agree. You know, he's getting a little long in the tooth. They say he's lost some weight. The offensive line's been revamped to help him out. Juju Schuster has signed a 1-year deal, so they're bringing back a talented receiver who has a lot to prove. He's out for a contract this year, so we're going to see what he does. And of course, Najee Harris. Who would have ever thought that we would see the first player drafted that's a running back 24? Remember those days when running backs were just 1, 2? Yeah. So it's he reminds me a lot of former running back Le'Veon Bell.
Oh, yeah.
Bruiser, hard hitter, catches balls out of the backfield. I really do think he's going to take a lot of pressure off Ben. They're actually, most predictions have him running third, believe it or not, behind Cleveland and Baltimore. Yeah. So it should be interesting. Their defense is solid. They did lose an inside linebacker. Vince Williams retired a couple weeks ago. I don't really think that's going to have much of an effect. He was a solid linebacker, but we'll see.
Yeah. So with Pittsburgh, again, we both agree that they're going to improve this year with their offense. They're going to be a playoff team. So I'm excited to see them, see what they can do as far as their improvements and staying healthy.
Yeah. Nothing to argue about with yet.
I have a question for you guys.
Sure.
Dwayne Haskins, does he see the light of day on a field in the regular season?
That's a good question. Again, it goes back to the key of, Ben. How does he do? With Ben there, and if he struggles a little bit, I think if he starts struggling, it's time to move on with Ben. So This is his year.
Personally, I think with the amount of time he's been in the league, the respect he's earned, even if he struggles, they're not going to yank him out. He has to get hurt, which is a very real possibility at his age. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll
my
see.
my prediction is Dwayne Haskins takes no snaps in a regular season game.
You heard it first from Brother Bob.
Market.
Dallas Cowboys. Talked a lot about them in our first pod. You know, they got some question marks. You know, it's interesting, going back to Pittsburgh real quick, their first 5 to 6 picks, I believe, were offense. And now Dallas' first 5 or 6 picks were defense. So.
I'm glad you brought that up as far as their defensive picks this year. One thing about Dallas, everything that we've been hearing that's coming out of the Metroplex is Quinn, the defensive coordinator. You know what? Everything that's been shown on film, and part of this is the Dallas Cowboys are going to be on Hard Knocks on this Tuesday coming up on HBO. I think Dan Quinn is going to be able to put the players in the right spot on the defensive end for the Dallas Cowboys. And as long as they can stay healthy on the defensive end, along with the offense as well, the offensive line, I think Dallas is going to surprise some people. I know we say that every single year, and across America, across the country, everybody says, here we go again with the Dallas Cowboys. But if you've never heard this before, I'm going to say it first. The Cowboys are going to the playoffs and to the Super Bowl this year again.
Oh.
I was waiting for
Drum
that.
roll, please.
Okay, just making sure everyone's awake.
Get off the crack pipe, okay? Sean Lee retired. Obviously, that's going to hurt. There are some question marks on defense. They did pick up Micah Parsons. So
Good
that's
linebacker out of Penn.
great linebacker. We'll see. They went heavy on defense. They were 6-10 last year. McCarthy's second year, if you followed his career, drastic improvement with Green Bay, his second year there. I don't know. The Cowboys are the Cowboys, man. Well, like I said, we're not watching the game. I'd imagine they'll have about 4 or 5 drive killers where they jump off sides on third down. You know, typical Cowboys mistake. We'll see. Should be a fun game. It should be a fun year if you're a Cowboy fan. They do have some talent this year.
And one of the things, as far as talent, I think Zeke, well, he has improved. He's gone on this incredible working out off season, and he's made it a point that he's going to come back strong this year. He wants that title again. He wants to take it away from Henry out with the Titans. So I think Zeke's going to make a great improvement. Dak stays healthy. He's got a trio of receivers. One of the kids, Gallup, is on his contract?
Yeah.
This year. The tight end can stay healthy. The offensive line can stay healthy. Honestly, they can win this division, all joking aside, win the division, get into the playoffs, host one game, maybe play Green Bay or Tampa Bay, and they just have to win one game. And I know we were laughing, but once they win that one game in the playoffs after hosting the first playoff game, anything can happen.
Yeah. We'll see.
Breaking news, guys. The Cowboys are in the lead. 3-0, 10 minutes to go in the second period.
Okay, there you go.
My score's holding up.
Well, we don't want to turn off too many viewers, so we'll get off the Cowboys for a few minutes.
All
It
right.
is the Hall of Fame game. 17 game schedule this year, so they've added a game. I think they've shortened the exhibition games.
Yeah.
So we'll see. You know, we want to move on to something. It is Hall of Fame weekend. It's a very exciting time to see some of our sports idols, guys that I saw growing up and admired their play. Let's talk about a couple of them.
Okay.
Let's talk about Peyton Manning. I got a hot sports opinion.
Okay.
What do you think?
Peyton Manning. When you talk about Peyton Manning, this guy single-handedly changed the position on offense and how it's played as a quarterback. And now everyone is doing some type of Peyton Manning before the ball snapped. I mean, with his mind, the way he did things, it's going to go on, I think, here forever. Peyton is one of those guys that, you know, you look at him athletically and you say, how is this guy going to be able to throw a football, right?
Yeah.
But when he did it at Tennessee and he did it in the NFL, I mean, what can you say about Peyton Manning? Not just only the class that he brings onto the football field, but as a person as well. This guy changed the way offensive quarterbacks play the game because he was playing chess with the defense, and he won 90% of the time.
Yeah, I agree. I got some stats here. My formerly CBC stained hands. 5 MVPs.
Okay.
Before actually the first original quarterback to win 2 Super Bowls with 2 different teams. His stats just stand out. I'm going out on a limb here. Somebody argue with me out there in the audience. The greatest quarterback to ever play in the NFL, Peyton Manning.
Well, you know that Tom Brady's still playing, correct?
I do.
Okay, Tom Brady, I think he has 7 rings. Is that right? I think 7 rings. And I think before he retires, he might get 1 more. Peyton's a great quarterback. Yeah, he changed the game, but Tom Brady is the ultimate winner. I mean, this guy, is he always in the right place at the right time? Well, who knows, right? Ask Drew Bledsoe. This guy wins. Doesn't matter what he's doing.
And Peyton Manning against Joe Montana. Come on, Joe Cool.
Remember Joe Cool?
Cool. Never lost a Super Bowl game. Actually lost 2 games less than Tom Brady. Brady's lost 2 games.
Yeah, I'm talking about season in, season out, bringing it. That's one of the things we do is debate. I'm going to go with Peyton Manning. I thought long and hard about this. I'm going to go with Peyton Manning.
You take Peyton. You know what? Let's do this. If we had one game that said, look, you can only choose 1 quarterback. You're saying you're going to go into this one game.
Okay, but you're talking 1 game, dude. I'm talking about longevity of career.
Okay.
5 MVPs, 5 and most valuable players, 17-year career. We're talking a lot of players in the National Football League. 5 MVPs, 17 years.
Mm-hmm.
Which Peyton Manning against which Tom Brady? Do you want the Peyton Manning who threw so many ducks the Hunters were coming out in a Super Bowl appearance?
2 Super Bowl wins.
Okay.
Again, I think I'll go back with a 7. And, man, Tom Brady, he's eating all this avocado stuff. He's getting stronger and stronger and stronger. I would even take this Tom Brady right now, here, today. Let's team him up with the Cowboys, with the Rams. Let's put him over there with the Chiefs. I think he still wins Super Bowls.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm not a Tom Brady hater by any means. I mean, the guy is amazing. But that's just my hot sports opinion.
Good.
Let's go on to Calvin Johnson.
All right.
Longevity of career was the big knock on should he be in the Hall of Fame. What do you think?
Megatron, you know what? Calvin Johnson reminds me a little bit of Barry Sanders. He was there. He was great at his position, did a lot. He changed the way the defenses played against him. He just did not have a team. He didn't have that other receiver on the other side. He didn't have that strong running back. Of course, he had a good quarterback in Stafford, who's now at the Rams. But every single year, this guy just played his heart out, just could not take the team and put him on his back. And for that, I feel bad. But you know what? He is a Hall of Famer. He's got the stats to prove it.
Yeah, I'm a big longevity guy because I'm one of those that your career can be. But then I thought about Jim Brown. You can't say he's not a Hall of Famer. But yeah, when I went back and researched it, 3-time All-Pro, 6-time Pro Bowler, 2 times he led the league in receiving. Mm-hmm. Probably was double teamed
most of the time. Yeah.
Most of the time. So he changed the game in a lot of ways. I mean, just the size, the speed. Yeah, amazing athlete. I'm in on that.
Okay.
This guy was the last of the All-70s team to finally get in. I have no idea why. You're from Dallas. Why was Drew Pearson put on the back burner for so long? Any thoughts on that?
I don't know why he was put back there, but, I mean, we can go over his stats real quick. He was undrafted as a free agent, and he came out of college out of Tulsa as a quarterback. He comes out as a undrafted free agent, signs with the Cowboys. All he does is he's a member of the NFL All-Decade team of the 70s that you and I talked about before. When he retired as a Cowboy, he led the team in receptions, receiving yards, 3-time Pro Bowler. When you look at that, you're thinking to yourself, how can he not be a Hall of Famer? I don't know if it was something where Drew Pearson is always looked at as a different type of receiver from the Lynn Swans or the Stallworths. I don't get it. To me, he was the heart and the soul of the Dallas Cowboys back in the 70s, early 80s.
No, I agree. And just a little Drew Pearson story, a little backstory here. When I was a kid, my name's Drew. So playing that backyard lot football, I was Drew Pearson, and I had the opportunity to actually bump into him in an adult setting in a bar in Dallas. And partaking of some libations. And I'm not one of those guys who will bother athletes or bother celebrities, but I was close enough at the time that I just wanted him to know what he meant to me because
yeah.
So told him my name was Drew and kind of the same story that I said, when I was a kid, I just admired your play. I tried to model my game after you. The only thing he said to me, he said, well, now you're all grown up, and kept drinking his beer. So have a nice day.
Well, you know what? Maybe you were the 10th person that evening that approached him, named Drew. He said,
Probably, right?
So, well, he's even more of a Hall of Famer in my book now. No, I'm just kidding.
Going on to Alan Faneka. Had the job as a dirty offensive lineman, great player. His stats, deservedly so. 9 Pro Bowls. You make 9 Pro Bowls, you're an offensive lineman. I believe he held down the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line. Am I correct on that?
With this guy, if you make that many Pro Bowls with the Pittsburgh Steelers, you're a Hall of Famer. So it's pretty simple.
Yeah. Interesting note on him. Again, he had a 14-year career. Guess how many games he missed in his entire career? Now, this is an offensive lineman. One, because of injury, actually missed 2. The other coach said, you're not playing today.
Well, he
for
missed
whatever
1.
reason.
So you owe me lunch. Okay.
Okay, moving on. I mean, no-brainer here. Had to watch Ohio State lose to this guy. Broke my heart. I believe Woodson's from Ohio. We had all these Desmond Howard. When you had kind of like you were a Texas fan or Baylor, when you see these guys beating you and they're from your home state, it just kills you. Woodson was one of those guys. Transformational player, won the Heisman Trophy. His game speaks for himself. He was part of the All-2000s team.
Good player. Good player, played for 18 seasons. And one thing about Woodson, he would always get the best receiver on the opposite end and pretty much shut him down, especially in his early years. One of the things that changed the NFL rules was that Tom Brady play where he goes and he sacks him and in the snow, and it was a controversy there. Charles Woodson, was that type of player. He was always around the ball, always making good things happen, and Hall of Famer. Good job.
How many rules did Tom Brady change? Good Lord.
He is the GOAT. He makes the rules and he changes them. Yeah.
Anyway, John Lynch, 14-year career, again, 9 Pro Bowls. Hard to argue his stats. Hard to argue that he doesn't belong.
The guy was a beast back there in that Tampa defense, always making the tackle in the secondary, interceptions, quarterback sacks. I think he was one of the best defensive players. I love watching back there because it didn't matter who the running back was, he was going to take him down. Yeah,
we'll get into this a little bit later. He's also, after his playing career, was part of the media. And we'll get back into this later about how much does the media play. These are the guys that are voting these people in, and now all of a sudden, they're co-working with them. Does that have some sway, you think? I mean, humans are humans.
It does, but now with everything, you have to be part of the media, and you got to be friendly, and you got to make sure that you're working with them because a lot of players, we talk about media right now. Well, guy from Baylor went to Washington, RG3. He's becoming part of the media with ESPN. I believe it's ESPN. He's going to start working for them. So you have to nowadays because it's a type of business now where you have to be able to not just as a player be good, but also outside of that as well and continue to work with the NFL. So I think it's an important part.
I got a pick later that should be in the Hall of Fame, and I think the media is keeping him out because of his off-the-field hijinks. Moving right along real quickly, one other guy we want to talk about is Flores. Kind of controversial to me. I'm not sure he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He did win 2 Super Bowls. He took the upset, the heavily favored Washington Redskins. He upset them.
Yeah, and he was the first coach that took a team to the Super Bowl and won it as a wild card.
Yeah. So we've covered that. Jimmy Johnson last year's real quick. Does Jimmy Johnson belong in the Hall of Fame?
Oh, of course. Hall
Absolutely
of Fame. He does.
Come on, give me a break.
Jimmy Johnson.
Give me a break, dude.
He took a team and what he did, not just turning the Cowboys around in the 90s, he made something where now a lot of teams are following the pattern as far as what he did, as far as the trades, Plan B free agents, how he worked that. He brought them in, how he drafted Troy Aikman, and he brought in Steve Walsh, how he marketed Steve Walsh, and he got him traded to New Orleans for some other picks.
So basically, what you're saying, he should be in the Hall of Fame as a general manager
And a coach.
Oh, okay. So he retired, right?
No, he and Jerry Jones decided
they
that it
decided-
wasn't going to work out.
Yeah, it wasn't going to work. So
Yeah.
Jones made him retire. Who won the Super Bowl the next year,
San Francisco,
and then the year after that?
the Cowboys.
Okay. So he had a continuum. I mean, he created the players, but Jones even said at the time, somewhat sarcastically, he could coach the team and they'd win a Super Bowl. So actually, I think Barry takes away a little bit of the street cred of Jimmy Johnson being in the Hall of Fame. Was he a great coach? Absolutely. Was he Hank Stram, Vince Lombardi, legendary coaches that are in the Hall of Fame? I'm going to say no, but I'd love to hear your comments on that.
Well, I thought you were talking about Jimmy Johnson, the NASCAR driver, because he should be in the Hall of Fame league.
Well, good point, but that's another show.
That's another show.
That's our NASCAR show. We'll be doing that in the year 2027, I believe.
2027.
So, we've covered all this. We're going to end real quickly with, because we've always had some controversy and discussion, who should be in the Hall of Fame that's not?
I can give you mine in 5 seconds.
Okay.
We talked about John Lynch, the safety for Tampa Bay, and he also played for the Broncos. Darrell Woodson, for me, for the Dallas Cowboys, has just about the same amount of sacks and interceptions, but he has more tackles than John Lynch. He needs to be in the Hall of Fame.
Excuse my stupidity. Is he even in the Ring of Honor?
He'll be in the Hall of Fame. He hasn't made the Ring of Honor yet.
Okay, so let's work on that first.
No, he'll get a jacket. Who's yours?
I got two, actually. Randy Moss should definitely be in the Hall of Fame. He's a 4-time All-Pro, 6-time Pro Bowler, 14 seasons. The longevity's there. I do think some of his off-the-field hijinks, some of the things that he did negate that, but he clearly, to me, he's a Hall of Famer. Comment if you think I'm wrong. The other one, I'm going way back, boys. I'm going old school. Kenny Anderson. Kenny Anderson put up some phenomenal stats when he was playing for the Cincinnati Bengals. He took them to the Super Bowl twice. He's literally, because of Joe Montana, only about 2 minutes away total from having 2 Super Bowl rings on his finger. So those are my 2 guys, Kenny Anderson, and yours is Darrell Woodson. I also have Randy Moss. Folks, see what you think about that. Feel free to comment. Once again, we enjoy having you listen. If you enjoy our content, please subscribe. We'll see you next week on To The Max Sports.
Enjoy the rest of the game.
Thanks, guys, for
Thank you.
listening. Subscribe on YouTube Live. We're also on your podcast catcher, whether it's Spotify, Google Podcasts, or Apple Podcasts. And look for us on Patreon pretty darn soon.